Hey everybody, Mark Drake here again. Listen, we sometimes get people write to us or say to us, we really appreciate your teaching. We appreciate your books, your writings, but it seems like you're always talking about grace. And we are. Or they'll say, it seems like you're just always talking about the new covenant and Christ in us. And well, we are. And the reason for that is not really complicated. Here's the reason. Jesus is the perfect everything. You want to be a better husband? You don't need long, detailed messages about being a good husband. It's not bad. It'll help. That's fine. But the reality is Christ is the best husband there could ever be. So the more I focus on him living in me, and the more I say, Jesus, you are the best, most perfect husband there is. You're living in me. Would you flow through me, making me a better husband, loving my wife as you love me? That's about grace, but it's also about being a husband. Jesus is the best manager in the world. If you're struggling with your money, if you're struggling not taking care of your financial things the way you should, the best money manager in the world is living inside of you. You can get some tips, some helps. Absolutely, that's great. But don't put your faith in that. Put your faith in Jesus Christ by his grace living in you and through you. And the reality of that could not be more clear than when Jesus uses the words new covenant. If you read through the four Gospels, you will not find a record of Jesus in 3.5 years of teaching ever using the words new covenant. And yet we know from the rest of the New Testament that the new covenant is incredibly important and that the Old Testament prophets prophesied about the coming of the new covenant because the old one just couldn't work. It served its purpose of showing us that we cannot be good enough for God, and then it was over, replaced by the new covenant. Jesus never used those words until the night that he was crucified. And before that act of crucifixion, betrayal and crucifixion, he had a dinner with his men, and the apostles who write the Gospels record it for us. John gives us the most detail. But what they all tell us is that after the initial supper, Jesus then took the cup, piece of bread, and speaking, I believe, as a metaphor, because these guys could not wrap their brain around the reality of what was going to come, Jesus says, guys, here's what's going to happen, and here's how you can understand what's going to happen. This bread, this is my body. It will be broken for you. I've been saying it, the prophets prophesied it. It will be broken for you. This cup represents the blood that will be shed for you. Without the shedding of blood, there is no remission of sin. The blood that's going to be shed for you, that's what this represents. And then Jesus made an amazing statement. And I know it's easy to just read over this, but may the Holy Spirit use it to transform something in our thinking. Then Jesus held up the cup and the bread, and he said, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to take this into yourselves. Now think about that. I want you to take the bread, put it in your mouth, take it into yourself. I want you to take the cup. I want you to drink it. I want you to take it into yourself. And this is the first and only time that we have a record of that Jesus uses the words, for this is the new covenant in my blood. Is the new covenant in the fact that Jesus shed his blood? Absolutely. However, it is far, far more than that. The new covenant is in the reality that we take that which is him. In this case, the metaphor he uses is bread and wine. This represents me. Open your mouths and take this into yourself, for this is the new covenant. Paul put it like this, for I've been crucified with Christ. However, I do live. However, it's not actually me who lives. It is in fact Christ who lives in me. For this is the new covenant, Jesus said. MarkDrake.org, a lot of great materials. And by the way, when you become a partner with us, you help us give away thousands upon thousands of books, tapes, CDs, flash drives filled with this material to leaders around the world who simply can't afford it. And the thing they need most of all is training. But training in the good news of the new covenant gospel, Christ in you, the hope of glory. markdrake.org. Keep growing in righteousness, peace, and joy.